found and is something else that's going to be accessible on the website. Yes, go ahead.
There's always a circularity to popular art forms. In the case of hip-hop and rap, there's probably been more circularity than ever before, in the sense that the art form derives from the culture, and then the culture is very impacted upon by the art form. Without question, hip-hop and rap have had more impact upon youth culture in America, especially black males, than any other cultural form has ever had upon the audience from which it emerged and the audience which was its later target when it became commercial. As an academic, or as somebody who's involved in academia, are you doing anything in terms of setting up symposiums, forums, or whatever, that would both be dealing with the art form and its history and its impact on the youth culture? Are you doing any of that? Both the artistic and sort of the sociological?
Well, my short answer is that I'm not an academic, I'm a historian, so no, it's not for me, but I am hoping that once you pinpoint an archive of substance to a specific place, whether that's virtual online place or a physical space in a library, that will generate exactly the kind of things that you are asking for, that you're requesting. And I'm seeing that starting to happen more and more. And the symposium that we put together in October of 2008 at Cornell, I thought was a real triumph, because we had academics from all over the country. We had historians from all over the place. We had students who sometimes would have traveled like 4 or 5 hours of planes to get there. And following the symposium, as I mentioned before, I have on occasion attended workshops and one-day events at other college campuses, and I think that it is set in motion, and the ball is rolling, and there's a snowball effect happening. Go ahead.
Is there a date after which you no longer find this interesting? Are you concentrating on the 70s, and then after that, it's a mass market issue?
It was part of, it's, you know, the Italian historian Piero Camporesi, he would refer to it as the dreadful desire to study, when you don't want something to end, where you want, you know, you have that fear of completion, that you just want to find one more strand or one more story or one more photograph or whatever it is. And I didn't want to end up in that maze. So very early on in my research, I decided that my cutoff point for my work in gathering and archiving was going to be around 1982, 1983, where I perceived that the culture changed from a performance-based culture to a recording-based culture. Luckily, that was the year that Jeffrey Weiss started collecting hip-hop. So when he donated his archive, we got a substantial archive that basically commenced in 1983. I hope that answers your question. Go ahead.
I have sort of a brief question for you guys up there. Number one, do you like, from a strictly musical perspective, do you like today's hip-hop? Number one. Number two, what are the differences? And number three, what are the discrepancies from 2009, 2008, 2007 rap from early 80s?
Real quickly, I don't listen to today's so-called hip-hop. Today's so-called rap music, recording artists pretending to be musicians, I'm not into. You know, I was brought up on Latin music and jazz and you know, the early beginnings of the culture. And that's what I stick to. So I don't listen to
I still do listen to it. You have to. As a representative of this culture, it's my due responsibility to kind of monitor what's going on. But I'll tell you this, it has to do what it has to do in order to stay fresh and not stay stagnant. Hip-hop is now 35 years old, and it's probably the most viable form of music that there is now. You have kids that have the opportunities that we would never have growing up. So it's that, whether it be for negative or for positive, it's that fiber that hip-hop has to reinvent itself and not regurgitate the same, you know what I'm saying, the same stale message. That's his lasting fiber. That's why it keeps staying relevant and new and fresh, instead of being that, you know, we've heard that before. It kind of reinvents itself. It's that chameleon type of thing.
And it also needs to be addressed that at this point in time, in 2009, it is a global grassroots movement that is executed as community-based, non-profit activism. And it is going on anywhere from Ghana to Brazil to Japan to New Zealand to Finland. And the different aspects of the art form are alive and well and vibrant in a way that can absolutely and categorically be compared to the life of blues, to the life of jazz, to the life of R&B, to the life of gospel. Because when we view the mainstream, all we see is who lands in the New York Times or in the Post or on the news or on VH1, and that's not hip-hop. It is a grassroots movement that reverberates with a vibrancy